So do you want me to start?
Welcome, everyone, first of all, to Exploring Energy in Everyday Life with your hosts, Mary Von Ohlen and
Rebecca Karchere. Welcome.
It's Valentine's Day while we're recording. Rebecca's in a nice pink, it looks like.
And I have red dyed hair underneath. I'm all set.
Good. So you're representing for both of us because
yes.
I'm in the blue, and that's more throat chakra, just for the speaking.
I got more pink on than that, but we don't need to get into that. But I'm all pinked out. Everyone knows I love pink, so.
True. So today, our topic is consciousness.
Yes.
So we're jumping right in here. We spoke about a few things that were more related to the physical aspects of healing, and consciousness affects all areas of healing. It's a little bit more on the spiritual and mental planes, I think, in terms of our healing discussion. But let's talk about what that even means. It's such a big word, and I think a lot of people might have different concepts of what it means. For me, the first thing that comes to mind is the word awareness. I think if there's a synonym, and awareness is the thread that weaves through all my work, in my own self-healing work and in working with others. Because in my mind, if you can't work with what you're not aware of.
Right. So awareness, I don't have the exact definition, but I think it is similar to consciousness by definition, but they are actually separate aspects, but you can use them interchangeably. Yeah.
Would you elaborate more on your actual definition of consciousness?
So consciousness is, yes, I want to say the word awareness being, but you can, how do I explain it? Consciousness is being, everything has consciousness. Everything is conscious. So I'm not going to give you one, definition. It's going to be an explanation that everything is consciousness. And so I guess you could say we become, what you and I represent is a movement where we are collectively helping people become more conscious. And what that means is being aware of the bigger picture, and especially when it comes to health. We're moving out of the me into the big self with the capital S, the self being, this is self and everything in the world is self, and that's oneness. So that's becoming more conscious when we include everything versus, and there's the scale of consciousness. The more that we become conscious, the more we include into our world, our universe, what we perceive.
Our experience, essentially.
Yeah.
Collectively.
Yeah.
Because we that's collective consciousness, right? And I heard you say, we go from the me, and I wanted to say, to the we.
To the we. To the
we as one.
Yes, as one, right? So the outside world and the inside world are not separate. So so we can talk about it from all different angles. That the more conscious we become, the more we take this concept of separation. We pull that out. There's no separation.
Yes, which makes I think life a lot easier, more manageable when you're coming from that perspective.
And it certainly feels more comfortable, and the best word, I guess, would to feel safe.
Yeah, safe. I think about, working with clients who are going through grief, and if they have this awareness of consciousness, of this concept we're talking about, I think it becomes a little bit easier to navigate through accepting losses, especially when it's death of a loved one.
Yeah,
it's understanding that we're all one, and it's never ending, and there's more than meets the human eye here.
Right, and that person didn't die; they've just transformed.
Yes.
Right. So there is no endings. It's just this cycle.
Right, and that's part of the whole thing that we're talking about, energy, because It's
Right.
a law of physics, right? That, energy can't be destroyed. It can only change.
Right.
And we're all connected by the same energy and made up of the same type of energy. And so that is where I think consciousness and talking about exploring energy in everyday life, it's such a fantastic topic. It's like, how could we not talk about consciousness?
I know, and it's all inclusive.
I actually, right before our call, I felt prompted to grab a book, one of the books that I'm reading. It came out a few years back, but it's called "You Are the Placebo: Making Your Mind Matter." Dr. Joe Dispenza, and they have he's got an index. So I looked up consciousness and just picked one of the pages where it's mentioned. So I thought I'd read and see what comes up.
Definitely.
This isn't a definition; it's just referenced here. So he talks about a principle that he adores in biology called emergence. And then it says, have you ever seen a school of fish or a flock of birds and how they all move together as one consciousness, like as one mind? Then he goes on to say, when we watch that essentially we might think that it looks like all the individuals are following one leader and that it's like a top-down phenomenon. So, but that's not what's really happening at all. What they realize is that it turns out that, he said, this level of unity takes place as a bottom-up phenomenon, that the group actually has no leader. Everyone is leading. They're all part of the same collective consciousness, doing the same thing at the same time. It's as if the whole is connected in a field of information beyond time and space.
Nice.
I love that there's no leader. Yeah. Everyone's leading. And if we're all one and really all part of the same consciousness, part of the same energy,
right?
That makes sense. And it also makes sense that what I do affects everyone else. What everyone else does affects me on some level.
Yes. I'll paraphrase. Dr. David Hawkins mentioned that when you take care of yourself, you're taking care of the collective. So every act of kindness towards yourself is actually adding to the collective. And so the more love you have for yourself, the more love you give out to the world. So that's nice.
Yes.
And that's why I preach about true selfishness versus the selfishness, the negative selfishness that, when the classic, females have this issue more importantly is that they put themselves last. And that's a detriment to everybody.
It's funny, this totally overlaps with, I got to be a guest on a Facebook Live interview this morning from the Connecticut Health and Wellness Practitioners Group.
Nice.
Stephanie Basson leads it. And we were talking about, being highly sensitive people, so perceiving more and feel and being sometimes able to pick up on other people's feelings. And Stephanie brought up about being when she was a tennis player and how she would have a really hard time when she would win, because when she would win, she was so conscious and she could sense how the loser felt. And so it felt like she could never win, and then so it wasn't until later when she learned to kind of shift her perception around that. Because like what you just said, the truth is, when I win, we all win.
Right.
For her, it was shifting the perspective to owning her experience and being an inspiration to others.
Yeah, I like that. Good segue. So how does consciousness apply to health and wellness? Would you like to start, or do you want me to start, or?
You can start. If it's on the tip of your tongue, go for it. If not, I'll jump.
I think that why I exist, part of my purpose in existing is to help people become more conscious, and simultaneously they become healthier human beings. It is synonymous. That the actual symptoms that people complain about are actually little gifts. I wrote an article called The Beauty of Disease. And what these gifts are opportunities to become more aware or more conscious. And that's how I prefer to see problems, is that that's actually your subconscious, which is the unconscious part of us, wanting to come to the surface to bring light to this dark area for the well-being of the person. So, I mean, that's if we can collectively see disease, symptoms, and problems from this perspective, that they're just opportunities for growth and development and to expand, and it's actually a gift, the world would be a better place.
Absolutely. But I think you summed up the whole topic right there.
There it is, right?
Done.
Because when it makes my blood boil when I see people go to conventional doctors, which is a diseased system in and of itself, operated by the whole system is operated with the idea that we're just a physical machine, and that our symptoms need to be suppressed. I mean, it's just so archaic.
Or controlled.
Or managed, controlled, cut out, whatever that is. And it's like, no. We are spirits. We have a soul, and our soul is trying to speak. It's it's trying to come to the light. It needs love.
It's trying to get our attention. Symptoms are trying to get our attention.
Yeah, it's like to us. Yeah, think of it. It's like it's also been depicted as the inner child. Okay, so think of your physicality. Your body is the subconscious mind, or the inner child. And what do we do when the inner child is crying and has an issue? You want to love it. You want to bring love to that child. It's the only way the child's going to thrive.
It needs something, right? It needs something, and so you need to bring your attention to it and listen and figure out what is it that the child needs.
So if our listeners can just appreciate the fact that our symptoms are our inner child looking for attention, looking for love. I mean, talk about a revolution. Talk about a movement in our world. Why would you ever go to a doctor and want to cut out the child or suppress the child who just wants love and wants to play? And when you really listen to what those symptoms are saying, you're better for it. You're blessed for it. So, I mean, that's why I my blood boils when I
hear you. Well, and for some people, it's life and death, and it changes their whole experience. I mean, I was just having this conversation with a colleague earlier today. We're sharing a case and have permission to communicate about what comes up, and we both had picked up on really the issue behind this individual's pain had to do with something in childhood. And so it was kind of like classic Louise Hay, if you've got low back pain, maybe you're not feeling supported. And if you have, and there's something with your hands, you can't it was something about not being able to handle something. And so with a mind-body technique, with the awareness, then we can use that as a doorway as practitioners to then guide someone to be able to open up to the possibility and then the truth of where did this really come from, and what is your body trying to tell you? That your body's just mimicking, in this case, the limiting beliefs that this individual picked up on, from their surroundings, from their experiences as a young child, and then as an adult, then it manifests. And for me, working with addiction recovery clients, when it's a pain situation, you can't really mess around with that. It's a slippery slope. For a client to then want to feel like they need to go back to some type of painkiller, or even prednisone, it just messes with your mind as well, and it's a dangerous situation. So that is coming from a fear-based place, like what you're talking about, but that's coming from that conventional system that says something hurts, let's medicate it. Well, here's someone who's already had an addiction problem with the medications that they were given. Now they're trying to live healthier, and then these pains arise, and it's really like a life or death situation in the long run, because if they pick up those pain pills again, they're going down a really dark path potentially. They're shutting off their awareness again instead of listening to their body and learning how to cope with the discomfort and then use it as an opportunity, as you eloquently explained.
Yeah. So, I hope that our viewers are enjoying this and are encouraged to love the pain, and meaning not in a sadistic way, to offer comfort to the pain. And an advanced perception when we experience pain is to do your best to step back from it and to witness it. That's really the key here, is to witness the pain and see it for what it is, and not to confuse it with who we are, to see it as a creation. But that's more advanced consciousness talk. But yeah, to have that third party perspective where you're not confusing it with who you are, that's important. So you can observe it and witness it, and then it can dissipate on its own without judgment. Because when we I'm in pain, make it go away, we are actually perpetuating it because we're in resistance. And so just kind of stepping back and allowing the pain to have its experience, and then it can move on. I mean, that's ideal. Mm-hmm. So I hope I'm not boring anyone. This is a very important topic for me.
Please add comments in the comment section asking us or letting us know how we're doing and how you would like us to proceed on future topics, or elaborate on this one or clarify anything. And we can do that in the comments.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to hear from you. But take the extreme, even the extreme. When I say that these symptoms are gifts, even the extreme. And what's the extreme? Where does everyone's brain go? But cancer, right? Life or death. And that it doesn't have to be a death sentence by any means. And it actually is more of an alarm going off in their consciousness to say, wake up, wake up, wake up. You're still not waking up. Wake up, and hopefully you listen.
Well, it's funny that you use that term alarm, because I was flashing back to one of the most simple analogies I heard when I was young around this topic, not around consciousness, but yeah, about our body giving us a signal, and pain being an opportunity and being there for a reason. It's like you have, so having some ache or pain could be like, if your body is a car, or, your car is a symbol of your body, and you're driving around and your oil light starts going off, or your check engine light starts going off, do you promptly go check it out and investigate and listen to your car and see what's going on and find out to take care of the underlying problem? Or do you just have your mechanics go in and, hey, can you just disconnect the electrical cord that signals this light to go off, because it's really distracting me while I'm driving?
Exactly.
Like, just pop a pain pill or just cut it out, but there's some underlying issue going on that our body's trying to communicate to us. So don't shut it off.
Right. It's absolute insanity. And I say this with love and with a lightheartedness. We're all crazy. I really feel like we're all crazy.
We're all one, then,
We're all crazy because we're such children, collectively, we're such children in that we don't fully grasp the bigger picture. And we have these moments of where we just, cut the wire in the car. And we all do it, myself included. But when you're aware of it, it's like, oh my God. And it's just funny. I have to laugh at humanity.
Where we just totally lose our common sense.
We're just the fact that we're all a part of God, we're all part of love, we're all part of the collective. It's all one. Everything's fine, everything's safe. It's all good. But then we have this moments of hallucination where we have symptoms and we handle it in a way like, oh my God, we're separate. And anyway, I just have to have fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But so I don't know what we're talking about next week, but we want to keep our discussions precise and concise.
Yes.
And also for the viewers, the Health Fairy Live is this Friday at noon on Facebook, on my Facebook page, on Pure Nutrition fan page. And I'm excited to do that. It'll be more of me just, venting and educating. And you can tune into that. I'm excited. But I don't know, do you have anything to interject?
No, I think we covered it. And next week we're talking about trauma.
Good topic.
Mm-hmm.
They're all good topics. Yeah. I'm biased.
Who came up with this list anyway? Oh yeah, we did. We all did. We listened. We're all one.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep loving yourself. And I remembered that I'm not wearing pink, but I have a nice rose quartz.
There you go, Mary.
Yeah, pulled that out today. Good heart chakra.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're sending out the love to anyone who's watching this. And if you
Yes.
want to return the love, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, or just keep coming back and let us know how we're doing and what we can do for you.
And join us in these interesting, eclectic discussions.
Energy adventures.
Well, have a wonderful week, everybody.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.